everybody, and welcome back to Memoirs and Some, the podcast. It's your girl, Myia Dominique, and I have my girl, Tempest, in the building. I've known Oh, I was finna just go real,
You was real young.
Yeah, like 8th grade. I was young. But anywho, my girl, Tracy, this is her sister. And like I said, we was young. We was like in 8th grade. Scholarship program, all that good stuff. Single mom empowerment, and, mamas got together and things was going on, and there you go. So that's the history behind that. Great love, great vibes, always. Love them. They a singing family, all of them. So that's one thing I always remember. I'm like, wow, yeah, they all sing at the church. All of them.
Oh my gosh.
But that is so amazing. All of them doing great, doing well, and I just love to see it. So without further ado, I'll let her introduce herself and get a little something, and then we'll get right into it.
Hey, I am Tempest Aisha. I'm a children's book author. I've written and self-published like 8 children's books of my own, Amazon bestsellers. I'm also a content strategist, and yeah, that's me.
That's you. So she's a content strategist. So before we get into that, so when I actually hit Tempest, I've always seen her post her books. And so I've looked a couple of times on Amazon. I'm like, dang, this girl's doing good, not no bad thing, but you look and you just kind of see, like, wow, you see people like really evolve and see their great work and all that. So I was like, wow, that's what's up. Let me inbox her and see would she like to be on the show. So she, of course, was like, yeah, I would love to. Super, just ready. She on point. So I was like, okay, good. For me, I looked at that a couple ways. Number one, black author. Never had a black author on the show, so she's the first. Number 2, well, outside of me, but I don't count. So, but I don't count. But furthermore, looking at the importance. So, y'all know I'm all for us. I'm all for our people. I love us unapologetically. I love the ghetto us. I love the looting us. I love the gospel us. I love us. And I don't have no shame. Everybody knows, and I'm always here to like empower, encourage. Like I'm a strong, firm believer of you got to be the change you want to see. Like that is so real. How many like people do we see really complain about all these generations of all these kids and nobody's doing anything? Everybody's just sitting on the porch gossiping about these same kids. That's not really helping. Like, yeah, okay, you got the tea, but like, what we doing
and
here?
Then what?
Right, there you go. So like, So when I saw that she writes children's books, I love children. My specialty in nursing was pediatric and maternity peds, whatever you want to call it, kids. Pregnant people and kids. It's always been my thing. I've always been for women and children. Women especially because they're the underdogs. Everything about pretty much the world is masculine. It for the most part. Like, y'all ain't gonna admit it, but carrying kids and raising kids and running full families, y'all could not hang. So
you're not wrong.
Y'all can't hang. So at that point, I'm like, yeah. But no, I'm all for our people. And when I saw she was an author, I was just like, man, this is great. Children's book, children's author. So I definitely want to see like what made her get into that. And now that I know she's a digital creator, she got a little bit more to add to that because I know that plays a major role in like her marketing, being able to kind of evolve in that marketing place for her own businesses. But I also know they got a downside too.
It does.
She definitely was just like, yeah, but so I definitely can see both sides. But I guess my first thing to you, darling, children's books. Why children's books?
Very short attention span first. I'll start there.
Okay.
Secondly, I have like a really huge imagination.
I can see that.
So it started coming to me naturally. It was something I even set out to do.
Okay.
I was in school to be a journalist.
Okay.
And my like dream job was like, well, I want to write for like a magazine. Bless you.
Ooh, excuse me.
I was like, I want to write for a magazine. And then, like, when I was in my final semester of school, this random idea started coming to me. And I just started, like, randomly, like, jotting it down. There was no real format. Literally just, like, jotting things down.
Okay.
And maybe about a year or two later is when I actually started putting it together as a book and realized, like,
this is a book.
Oh, this is a whole story.
Yeah.
Okay, this works. But yeah, so that's just kind of how it initially started. And then, like, as I got deeper into, like, the publishing process and things like that, I realized that of all the children's books written, only 11% of them had a black or brown, like, main character. And of that 11%, only 4% were actually written by a black person.
She just dropped some gems.
Okay? So I'm right here,
I love somebody to drop a good gem, baby. Throw them stats.
So I'm right here, like, that was just, like, really unsettling to me. But, like, even just growing up, like, you're familiar with my family. My parents are just, like, huge on education.
Absolutely.
It was, like, summertime in my house. It was, like, oh, you're going to read a book. You're going to write about it and tell me about it. So reading was just also always so big. So I actually grew to love reading. And like I said, it just came natural for me to, like, if I got these weird things in my head, why not write it down?
Right? That is so crazy.
Yes.
Never thought. Okay. So that she kind of gave me a really good kind of path to go on because number one, she just gave out some stats that's really interesting. Before we get to that, she just said one of the main things that ain't nobody in the world for real gonna ever admit. She got a short attention span. She's not gonna sit there for all that crap. Okay. Which is most children.
Exactly.
Most children.
Exactly.
So, to entertain enough to keep your attention, and that's good, that's what's up. Because most people can't kind of tailor that when it comes to kids.
Yeah.
They can't. I'm a parent, and it's hard. I got a 9-year-old that's like, he ain't gonna sit there for nothing.
No. And you need to make it so that they want to.
There you go. There you go. So with that, have you ever wanted to be like an educator?
No.
Okay.
Because I like being the fun one. And like,
I love it. She an auntie, if y'all ain't know.
I mean,
she's the TT. That is the TT talking.
I don't say no. There are no rules. I'm not gonna make you sit down and read this book. Like, no. If you want to read the book while doing cartwheels, go for it.
Let's do it. Right.
And that doesn't work in a school setting, and I know that. But I love going into schools to read my books.
Okay.
And like,
Now, okay, walk me through that. Tell me how that comes about.
So for me, that was my first form of marketing. Now that we want to get into it.
Yeah. Come on.
That was my first form of marketing. So when I published in 2017, of course social media was a thing, but it just wasn't where it is today.
Absolutely.
And so for me, the first thought in my head was, I'm going to go to my elementary school
and read my book.
If I can read my book here. So from there, and it was like half of my friends are teachers. I'm going to ask, hey, let me come to your school and read the books. Like, so that was literally my first form of marketing. It was all word of mouth. It was, how do I get my books in school?
And that's the best way. You went right for the gusto, which is amazing.
Yes. So it literally, like, I was posting to social media, but it was like so generic back then, honestly. But I was in schools. I was like taking off work or doing half days every Friday.
To go read.
Yep. I was going into libraries. I would do like reading time at libraries on Saturdays. Like literally my whole thing was, it's not just social media. Like I want them to actually have their hands on the book or like and figure out things like that. Mm-hmm. So that was like where I got started when it came to getting my book like known initially.
Okay. Now what made you go into writing more? So like you did the first one and you was like, okay, this dude and you know, I did okay, or I could do, you know, better, or I didn't do, you know, it just all depends because as we all know, it don't matter the product, your name is what matters.
Yes.
You are your brand, no matter what product you have. So for her to go like full gusto, now I'm going to go into schools and get into school. That was one of the best things. That is like one of the best marketing I've heard yet in an entrepreneurship. Because it goes directly to the source.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's book fairs. It's all type of stuff that happens at schools. And children's books ain't going out of style. And they'll probably expand to ebooks, but the tangible ones will never go out of style.
And another reason, like what your next question, like what made me keep writing, it's really because of that, because children's books are never going out of style. And for me, I wanted more longevity. So like it's a series. So it's like after I finished the first one, like more ideas just kept going and kept going.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted it to be organic. So I haven't written another one because for that series, I just felt like maybe I am done. I didn't want to force it. But I did like it's a 5-book series and also a coloring book. So it's 6 books in total in it. But I wanted more because when kids are hooked on something, they're like in it. So it was like when you read one of the Maddie series, like you want the rest, you want more. So it felt like more. Not only was it like good for like money wise, but it was just good for, like I said, getting kids engaged and involved in the reading experience. And so it just made sense at that time.
Okay. So let me go back. This is more like a childhood question.
Okay.
So remember when you said a series, you remember Judy B. Jones?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yes.
Okay.
I did like Amelia Bedelia, the Babysitters Club.
Oh like, yeah, you covered them. Yes.
Yes.
So were you a reader in school?
So yes and no, to be honest.
Okay.
In school, some of the books just like, if they didn't once again, short attention span.
I feel
if they didn't catch my attention in the first like couple of pages or within the first chapter,
it was kind of like, good for you.
Okay, I'm over it.
Okay.
But when it was like my mom would take us to the library and like we pick out our own books, or the Scholastic News.
My mama did
if
that.
I could pick out my own book and not you giving me this book, or you giving me a selection of 10 whack books and I gotta pick the coolest of the whack books.
Right.
It was just like, it wasn't for me. But when I got a chance to pick out my own books, I did.
Yeah. I can relate because I definitely remember the Scholastic magazines coming home. And see, she was a suburbanite too. We went to suburban schools. Okay. So, with those suburban schools, they would send those home like with a newsletter. And, like, we would have, I don't even know if my elementary school does it now. But I know my elementary school, they used to do, like, grandparents reading day. Yes. They would do, like, parents reading day. So, like, everything was centered around reading, which is so important.
It's the fundamental. When you can read, you can do everything.
Come on.
Yeah.
She was going to go into it. Come on. You keep going. Literally.
But it's literally basic, like, fundamentals for everything you do. Yes. Like, you can't be a scientist or a mathematician if you can't read.
Do nothing if you can't read.
So it's the basics.
And so I see the shift, which is why she's considered a millennial. We're millennials. Yeah. So at that point, when you look at what millennials are doing, we kind of taking over with the influencer, the digital creating, the marketing, how things are done. It kind of changes the game and tweaks. But what I love to see is that she's still so young doing it and being able, that influence makes it so much more relatable. And I say that because I do influencer work inside the school with my kids. And all the kids is, Miles, I follow your mama on TikTok. And, and it goes into that thing for a while, but it makes it a little bit more relatable for them to do stuff. So when I'm talking to them about entrepreneurship, yeah, of course, they like, yeah, come on, Miss Myia, we can do the dance. Well, let's do it. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But the basis of this is, are you dancing because that's just what you want to do? Or are you trying to take this serious? I did a statistic when I wrote my proposal initially. And being an influencer is like the number 4 job in the country.
It should be. I get it.
I definitely get it.
Like, yeah.
The country. If I can wake up and make an ad about Lysol and then go do it about Tide and go back to sleep, baby, I'm lit. Okay? And that's all I have to do. Now, like I said, I think I tell everybody is, if I got rich tomorrow, I still would do all my content creating. Yeah. I wouldn't stop. I don't think I would stop. Good. And to see, I would hope she wouldn't stop. Because I number one, I didn't know it was a series. So that's really, really good. That means her imagination is way, because to continue a story that's a lot. It's like people who write shows. 50
like
Cent.
You still got more episodes
you got more. And when it gives more, like she said, I didn't want to drag it out. That's a very, having that strategy to know. You know what I'm saying? Even discipline. That's a form of discipline, because we get greedy and we like, oh yeah, I could just squeeze one more out. But if you know that ain't that, and she like, nah,
it'll start to feel forced.
And you like, nah, that ain't it. That's how I was in my ebooks. All ebooks don't have to be 35, 40, 50 pages. No, a good 25 pager to get you wham, bam, thank you, and what you need to do. That's what E is for anyway. I want it handheld so I can be able to have it. Mm-hmm. So when I say she's not going out of style, no school is turning down no kids' books. No school. Back when we were growing up, I was leading to, we were in that place where everything was about reading. Yes. Everything was about reading. I feel like after COVID, that wasn't really the main source no more at schools. And
what is it now?
That's a very interesting question. I'm a parent and I'm trying to figure that out. So for you to be on the outside to have that same question, that's interesting to me because, like I said, we had those things at home weekly. Yes. We had the what were the Time magazine? Yes. Had those weekly. My kids don't get none of that stuff coming home. It comes maybe, and again, my kids suburbanized too. They don't go to school, and there's nothing wrong with CPS. So I'm not being rude. What I'm saying is because people take stuff, but with the schools that have more time and more to offer for our children, it makes it a little bit easier, for the kids to kind of be involved in stuff. Yeah. And I think that's where the struggle is for me now as a mom, and then hearing her say she has a series, because now I want to get the series for my kids just because, number one, I'm going to support a Black author, but number two, you just never know how stuff affects kids. Yeah. Each kid got their own little journey. And I just love to see that you're pouring into, what's the old saying? It takes a village. It does. You pour it into your village, and you may not even know it, like it may not be my kid or Tracy's kid, but it could be, just another kid at your elementary school, at my elementary school. You just don't know where you're affecting somebody or just being relatable. Yeah. Do your stories fully go off imagination, or is it some realistic stuff coming from childhood, some realistic stuff coming from just anything?
So there is only one of my books where it comes from something that, like a thought I had as a kid or even as an adult. My second book is called Breakfast Surprise. Okay. And so my main character, Maddie, she's cooking with her grandmother, which I used to do all the time, learn how to make eggs with my grandparents. And so, but she goes to crack an egg. They live on a farm. She cracks the egg and it's a chick that comes out. And so as a kid, I always grew up thinking, like, how do they know which ones?
You ain't lying. Come on. Okay. Talk to me.
So that's the only book that I have where it was based off something that I've literally thought. Other than that, everything else is literally just me, just
having some fun.
Making it up. Yeah.
That is so dope, Tempest. Okay, so let's see these books. I want to see.
Here we go.
This series. Give us
This is the first one.
Okay.
It's Just Like Mommy.
Okay.
She's cleaning her mom's shoes, and they take her to adult world, basically. It's getting a chance to see how kids view you as a mom. You do small things and kids see it as the biggest thing ever. So that's the first one.
Okay.
This is Breakfast Surprise, the one we were just talking about.
Yes, little Maddie then opened up a little chick.
Then we have He's Not Special, He's My Friend. Maddie has a friend with special needs. Oh. Our hero, Maddie, proves that little people can do big things. Her dad falls and she has a 911 call. Everybody's birthday. This is teaching kids about cultures and how people around the world celebrate their birthdays differently. So yeah, it's lessons in all of them, but I keep it fun because, like I said, short attention span.
Short attention span.
I just use my flaw, my short attention span, to my advantage to create books that kids actually want to read and they learn lessons in them. So it's funny, but you get a little something out of it. And
That's
parents don't have to sit right here, bored while they read them.
Or be concerned about what they're reading because, like you say,
Yes.
social media and things are
Kids are so exposed.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. Now, how often do you do readings now? Like, what's your form of marketing now?
Oh, my gosh. So, I don't market as much now. I will admit that I've gotten a little lazy.
Okay, it happens.
Mostly because I got a distribution deal with Target and a few other, like, bookstores.
Okay.
So, like, they'll place, like, a bigger order, and I just, like, make money from there. Okay. And so it's made me a little more lazy on that end. However, my books, even on Amazon, have never stopped selling. Like, I love seeing that they're still selling because on social media, I market that I help people write books. So when I mention that, they go and buy the book.
Absolutely.
So it's like indirect marketing lately. It's not as much like, hey, I wrote this book, buy this book. It's more like, I can help you publish a book because I publish X amount of books.
Okay.
And then people just look it up and go buy it.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm like, it's more like indirect marketing now, but
every strategy is different.
I actually miss being back in the schools and stuff like that. So,
really?
And now my job is like way more flexible now. So I'll probably be back in schools reading again soon.
I know that's right.
Because that's really my favorite form of marketing is being in the schools. I'm like, sitting on the floor and reading, and they have a million questions, and I love it. So social media is cool, but when you have a tangible product and you can like have direct access to your target audience, why miss out on it?
Why miss it? And it makes you so interpersonal with your just audience, with your fans, with your whoever, followers, subscribers, whatever it is that you have that has that niche and those people to you.
Yep.
That's amazing. So it's so interesting to hear her say that her marketing, her strategy has to be so different with her own products, given that she in the digital marketing field. Ain't that crazy? So it just goes to show you, it just because you have the skill set and do it, it still means you still got to give that work in. She's still putting that work in. She still have to do it the other way. So we ain't going to glide past the fact that my girl said she got deals from Target and bookstores. We ain't gonna glide past that. Girl, talk to me nice. That's so Tempest, you is wilding me. I am wild right now.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, Target, I love me some Target.
They did.
I love me some Target.
Love it. Amazing. Yes. So it started with, I think, Target was first, and then it was Walmart, and then the books are also at certain Barnes and Nobles.
Okay.
And
now, aren't Barnes and Nobles individually owned?
Yes. So I had to go. They're not in all of them.
Right.
And then like in like smaller bookstores, I just went directly and pitched to them, or like libraries. I like went in person. That's when so people hype up social media a lot, which I literally love social media. But
it ain't nothing like being
some
in person
of it is literally
face.
not like face to face because I hate to make it seem like it's all a money grab, but if you want your money quicker,
you gotta put it out
there.
Go
talk to those people. Yeah. Because you need to tell them like the stats I was talking about earlier, like do you have how many books written by a black author do you have here? Like it's certain things like that alone will appeal to people.
Yeah, and it'll make them look at their inventory and look back to look at how they're doing things, just marketing whatever nationality. It don't have to be just black. It could be Korean. It could be, Japanese, whatever. It could not be enough Korean history. I don't know. So I don't want it to ever seem like it's only black, but I'm going to pump us up.
Everything black.
Everything, every time I'm going to do too much for us. But, so that's good. That's so good. So when you pitch, do you get scared? Do you be scared? Like a what? Rejection?
So I think at first, I'm not afraid of hearing no.
Okay.
So sometimes I know that I can just be shy in general.
Okay.
So initially, I think I was too excited or too naive to even be. It was just like, oh, I wrote my book. Like, you want to put it in your store? So it was like, I didn't even know enough to even be scared that I was talking to like people that were like so high up or what they were doing. And now it's more like, if you say no, it's fine. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's why. So I more so will get shy, not like afraid of rejection though, because that's a part of the game.
That is. It's a part of the game. So how do you do your teaching as far as self-publishing? Do you do everything on Amazon?
So Wait, as far as like how I teach people how to publish books?
Well, both. I guess that was a two-part question, so let me back up.
Okay.
Yes, answer that one first.
So when it comes to teaching people how to publish books, I have a digital course that's on my website.
Okay.
That kind of runs through every single thing. Like I literally just gave away all the game. And then I have like an option for a done for you service where I literally publish the entire book for you, slap your name on it, and I don't take any royalties.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Like, so yeah, I publish for people and then they can just like
get it.
Yeah.
Drop it.
Because it's hard. So if you've written a book and you don't know what to do from there, because when I first started, I spent so much money. I spent thousands of dollars messing up because I didn't have anybody to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
And
that
like self-publishing in 2016, 2017 wasn't as widely talked about at that point in time. So at first I was like, oh, I have to like get a publisher. And then it was like, I did get rejected from a couple of publishers. Or I had one say, oh, I'll take you on, but you got to pay this amount of money first. And then we're going to change all of your illustrations. I said, nah, I'm good. So it's like, that wasn't the route for me. And I'm like, no, I'm going to figure this out. And so it took a lot of money, like I see me wasting money, me figuring out the process to perfect it for the next books on how to even self-publish. So when I realized that at that point in time, there was no self-publishing coach that was like easily accessible or that people were talking about then, and people didn't know what to do, I was like, oh, I'll teach people how to do it, or I can do it for you. Because now I know how to publish a book in 90 days. So I'm like, oh, I can go ahead and do this and just take the money, and I don't want your money because my whole thing for, like you said, Black people especially, is ownership. I don't want your book.
Yeah.
Like, I want you, like, this is your book. I'm just helping you publish it.
Publish it, exactly. Now, when you self-publish, do you use Amazon Publisher, or do you have, like, other, like, tricks and tricks? Because I know a lot of people use different stuff.
So, Amazon is great for, like, paperback books. Because, like, I think they just rolled out, like, a beta version of hardcover books.
Yeah.
But it's only if your book is, like, 75 pages or more.
Yeah.
So, I initially started off using Ingram Spark, which I don't suggest. But, I get my hardcover books are printed overseas. Dope. So, just buy them in bulk and then sell them that way.
And you sell them that way. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I guess, what would be your tool or takeaway to anybody just pursuing being an author, children's books, kind of just going in that field? What would be your takeaway? I say give them 3. Give them 3 takeaways, just because you just said you spend a lot of money. So I know a lot of money mean a lot of mistakes, because I'm in that boat. Absolutely. She ain't lying. When you don't know, but it also makes good for new business. Yes. It makes great for new business when you teach yourself. Yeah. It makes great for it.
So I don't know. My first thing would be to first just write. I have people to come to me and say, I really want to write a book. I have this idea, but have you written any of it down? Right. Like and I know that sounds so simple, but just write. Like, see, first of all, this, like, when you write it out, you can see if it makes sense. You can see who it's for. Because, I mean, is your book for kids? Is it for adults? Is it for preteens? Like, figure out who the idea is even for.
Who are you giving this to?
Yeah, so write it out first. That would be my first thing. My second would be to get an accountability partner.
There you go. I like that one.
Because people talk about, move in silence, and I just don't believe in that. Because when you move in silence, no one's holding you accountable. Like, tell somebody, because they'll tell somebody that cares.
There you go.
Because that way they'll actually be like, hey, did you write today? Or did you do, like you said,
are you editing today?
Right.
Did you meet your goal for this week or whatever?
They won't, like, if you let a month go by, you've never talked about it. Hey, remember you said you're writing a book? Like, have you started?
There you go.
So, an accountability partner is my second thing. And then lastly, I guess kind of similar to that, is link up with someone, even if it's an investment. Link up with someone that's done it before. Because if you have never done it and you don't know what to do, you're also going to waste a lot of money like I did initially. Yeah. Just on mistakes. So, yeah. Find someone that's also done it. like, even if you can't afford to, like, hire someone like me, if you follow my Instagram, you could probably publish a book.
Because you dropping two.
Listen, like, put all those reels together and you could probably publish a book.
Literally. That's how I feel about mine, too. Like, if you follow the stuff I'm dropping, you can start your business.
Yeah.
You can do. She ain't lying. So, that is amazing to have. I didn't even know you do that. So, that's good, too. See? What's your Instagram? Let me know.
I'm so.Aisha. That's Aisha.
Okay.
I'm so
Aisha.
Yep.
Cool. So y'all have it. Y'all have her Instagram. Y'all have Miss Tempest. Did you enjoy yourself?
I had a great time.
You did so good, so natural. It was great, you know, and you dropped a lot of gems, like a lot of little gems. Gave us some good, she gave us the tea on the children's books for sure. And then just her services. So anybody, like I say, I always try to inspire, help somebody say, hey, this is what I want to do. Dream big.
Sure.
Go for it. If that's what you want to do, here you go. You have somebody here, Miss Tempest, who will definitely write it for you. That is, I ain't never heard of that service. That she changing the game.
It's like, bring your idea and
let me get it together.
Put it all together. Yes.
That is amazing. So definitely y'all don't sit on stuff, but for the most part, like she said, she's the author. She got 5-6 books in front of me. She got a coloring book that comes with it too. So number one, get them books, y'all. Get the books. But number two, definitely go for what you know. You know, it's always somebody that knows somebody that can help you.
Yes.
A closed mouth don't get fed. You ain't gonna never know if you don't ask somebody, tell somebody, hey, this is what I want to do. You know, so glad that you came on.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.
Super love seeing you on social media. Like, you're such a boss. I love it.
Thank you. It's a long time coming, baby, but we still going.
It's only up from here.
Yes, totally up. So I thank you for coming. Y'all know this is Memoirs and Some, the podcast. I'm your host, Myia Dominique. We here every Tuesday, 7 p.m., but we out for tonight. See ya.